Recording in progress.
Your direction for
Professor Roy, can you still see my screen or my screen is out right now?
What I'm seeing is your picture.
Oh, I see. Okay.
College of Engineering and
Oh,
Technology.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Admin, can you please make Mr. Anil Kant Chaudhary, co-host, please, so that he can control his microphone.
Sir, we can start the session.
Can we start that now? Okay. Yeah. Please make Mr. Anil Kant Chaudhary co-host. Okay.
Okay, good morning. Thanks, Ramesh Yadava, sir. I'm able to control my audio and video. Thanks.
Very good. And Professor Suresh Roy is also here with us.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Okay, so.
Sir, now we will start the session.
Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay. Very good. All right. Good morning to everyone. And so, how many students are there from RSV in the hall? How many students are there roughly?
Roughly 70.
I see. Okay, 70. Okay, all right. Good. Very good. And GGS, Bokaro, are your students also in the hall?
Prakash sir, unmute GCPS.
Yes, sir, I will admit.
Yeah, please. I think Professor Mahmood Alam would be there, so I make him also co-host so that he can also talk. Okay. Good, good. Good morning, students, and good morning, faculty. And it is such an honor to be sharing with you about the entrepreneurial journey, and also what is this entrepreneurship all about. And in this semester, we are going to spend like almost like 16 weeks together, and we will learn together. You will get to do your you will be making you'll be part of the team, and you will be making you'll be actually thinking of and starting your own venture, thinking of your own venture on the paper. So you will be doing what is called business model canvas. You'll go through that experience, and one of the things which really I want to up front, I want to say that this course is actually not a management course. This course is going to teach you some of the skills which are required to make you successful. And we will talk more about it. Okay, thank you. So if we talk about the startup is all about finding a business model. It is all about finding a business model. The business model which is repeatable, which is scalable, and which is profitable. Right? So business model, a startup is trying to find out a business model which is repeatable, scalable, and profitable. Profitable तो होना जरूरी है क्योंकि द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव जो स्टार्टअप का जो मूल धर्म है क्या करना चाहते हैं स्टार्टअप वांट्स टू क्रिएट वेल्थ. That is the main objective, right? You will create a wealth so that whoever is working with you, they all rise, everybody is successful, and your community will be rising up. So the main goal of you as an entrepreneur, if you become an entrepreneur, is that the goal of startup is to create wealth. And that wealth will be created only when you have a product, a service, which is repeatable, scalable, and profitable. I'm so thankful in this class today. We have Professor Suresh Roy, who is a serial entrepreneur from Silicon Valley. And also his expertise are in the new product introduction. So when that chapter comes, you will be actually talking to him, and he will be sharing his knowledge with you, and you'll be learning quite a bit from him. Another gentleman, and our mentor, who has been a mentor for last like 40 years in this class, is Mr. Anil Kant Chaudhary. Now he is an entrepreneur. He has his own business. He's a consultant, and he is also he's a coach. That's all he does. He goes to the different bigger companies, and he coaches their staff, their management, that how to do it better, how to produce, how to be more successful, how to make your company more successful, how to work with the other team members, how to be a good empathetic leader. So that's all he teaches. He will also share with all of us in a class which he'll be talking later on in the semester. So this chapter is about mindset of an entrepreneur. Okay? That's what we are going to talk about today. Professor Suresh Roy and Mr. Anil Kant Chaudhary, he will be participating, and I'm Ramesh Yadav. I'm an adjunct professor at BIT Sindri and JUT, and this class will be in the flipped classroom format. And I had requested all of you that please go through the video. Go through the video which I had sent to you, and also I had requested you to go through the slide deck before the class. Now, can you by raising your hand or go to the chat, were you able to watch the video before you came to class? And the reason why I'm asking is that I have to make these things very interesting to you. I have to be a good storyteller so that I can excite you, and I can convince you that go ahead and watch these videos before the class. That is the reason why I'm asking you this question. So can you please go in the chat box and just write down and just say yes or no. Did you watch the did you watch the video in this of this class which I sent you earlier? Please put in the chat. Please put in the chat. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Very good. Okay, here it is. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I want to know. Oh, very good. Oh, okay. Good, good, good. Very good. Who else? Who else have watched? Who else have watched? You good? Okay. Did you, those who have watched it, did you find it interesting or you found it boring? Just write your comment there. Or did you like the video or you did not like the video? Just say yes or no. Did you like the video? Yes or no? Very good. Okay. Yeah, keep on giving your message. More people, more students will respond, the better we will be making the video. Okay, good, good, good. Okay. Very nice. Good. Thank you so much for that input. It means a lot to Professor Suresh Roy, Mr. Anilkant Chaudhary, and myself. It means a lot because we are going to make sure that we make it more interesting. Okay, so now the classroom format, it is a flipped classroom. And what I want you to do is when you go back home today, go and go into Google and just look at the flipped classroom concept. Then you will understand it more also. What does it means? Flipped classroom means that you are going to receive the video and the presentation, what you're going to see now, you will get a week before, 1 week earlier. एक week पहले आपको मिल जाएगा और तब आप उसको देख सकते हैं अपने समय में, क्योंकि हम लोगों को पता है, we know that you today's student, they are very smart. All of you are very smart. All of you are much smarter than any one of the professors who are here, because you have that knowledge right in your palm of that smartphone. You can go to chat GPT and find out whatever you want to find out. So we know that. So you have a capability to get the knowledge. So we want to use, that's why this flipped classroom is, so that you get to use this flipped classroom concept, and you have the video, you can watch that before you come to the class. And you prepare the question before you come to the class. You already try to understand what it is. And so prepare, पहले ही से कोई सवाल कोई समझ नहीं आए कोई चीज बात, तो आप you should prepare कि क्या सवाल पूछना है. और आपको सवाल पूछने का, जितना आप सवाल पूछेंगे उतना ही आपको उस चीज को आप समझेंगे. So it is my request to all of you that make sure that you ask at least one question. There are a lot of students, at least ask one question जो कि समझ नहीं आया, या your comment, either question or comment. Okay, so in this class we will dedicate तो 2 घंटे की क्लास है करीब, तो हम करीबन 1 घंटा तो हम लोग करेंगे लेक्चर. We'll talk about the concept, repeat करेंगे जो कि वीडियो में है. Exactly, we are going to repeat that. And then rest of the time we will go through the question answer. It will be an interactive session. Okay, that's what we will do. Then students are encouraged to ask the question and share their creativity, thought, and encourage productivity and interactive between the students and with teachers and mentors. We are all ready. We want to interactively, we want to understand you. We want to make sure that you gain out of it. And what we'll do is we'll also form a team of students, say 10 students, and your professor, your teacher, the nodal officer from your institute, they will help you and in making that team. And you throughout this session, throughout this semester, work together, and you will be forming a team, and then you will be going through the building a startup company. And at the end of the semester, you will be presenting, your team will be presenting to the audience, to your fellow students, and to the mentors, and to the teachers, and your nodal officers, that why they should, with your startup idea, and then how you're going to make money out of it. So you will be learning what's the advantage. Yes.
Can I please add something?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Normally, जब हम लोग movie देखने जाते हैं, and after watching the movie, once you come out of the movie theater, the chances are you remember at least 80% of the dialogues and the complete movie. तो मैं हमेशा यही सोचता था कि why can't our education system be so interesting कि उसको देखने के बाद we will remember, just like movie, we should remember everything that we have seen or we have heard. And perhaps these type of courses brings us very close to that concept, jahan par we will remember most of the things that we have learned, because it's going to be very interesting. And again, let us all participate in this interactive session, क्योंकि हम लोग जब question पूछते हैं, we will make ourselves very clear. जो भी doubt है, that if those doubts are made clear, you're going to become more smarter. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. That was a very good input. Okay, so you will be learning at your own time, right? अब है कि you have that video and you will be learning anytime you can watch that video, whenever you feel comfortable. रात में सोने से पहले, सुबह उठो तब, या दिन में, या डिनर के बाद, और जिस समय भी चाहो, तुम्हारा समय है, उसको जब भी तुम देखो, लेकिन देखो जरूर. You'll be फिर होमवर्क. तो क्या होगा, हम लोग जो आधे घंटे का जो 1 घंटे का जो डिस्कशन करेंगे, उसमें आप अपना होमवर्क भी कर सकते हैं, जो आपको होमवर्क मिलेगा यहाँ पे. You don't have to go home and go to the hostel and do the homework. You can just do your homework right here in the class, and that's what we want. So, and you'll be learning from your teachers, your mentors, and at the same time from your team members. And by the way, when you learn, we are also going to learn at the same time. So be creative, रचनात्मक. Be curious, जिज्ञासा. क्यों है ये ऐसा? आज क्लास लेट क्यों हुई? क्या कारण था? बिजली का कारण था. मैं क्या कर सकता हूं ताकि ये बिजली का प्रॉब्लम ही ना हो? Curiosity and critical thinking skills. ये तीनों चीजें जो हैं बहुत जरूरी है. So, जो JUT का जो कोर्स वर्क है, जो आप नॉलेज यहां से गेन करेंगे, that will be the prime tool to enter the world of opportunity. जैसे आप जाएंगे, there will be lot of opportunity. So you will get that opportunity on this whatever concept we are trying to teach in this entrepreneurship class. You will learn entrepreneurship and enterpreneurship. Mindset, उसका mindset कैसा होना चाहिए, and that will give the आपको चाबी मिल जाएगी सक्सेस पाने में। चाहे आप कहीं पर काम कर रहे हैं, किसी के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, या आप खुद के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, यू विल गेट दैट। एंड तो क्या है, यू विल लर्न अबाउट द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग। You will learn about the excellent storyteller. ऐसा कहानी ऐसी बतलाएं अपनी कंपनी के बारे में कि क्या क्या है, ताकि सुनने वाला एकदम ध्यान से उसको सुने, और 2 मिनट में आप अपनी उस कंपनी की कहानी कह दें, 2 मिनट में। you have and then empathetic leadership skills। वो कौन सी है कि आप जो भी लीडरशिप जो स्किल है, यू वर्क विद द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द अदर पीपल, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ योर टीम मेंबर, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द, आप उनमें कमियां मत निकालिए, बल्कि ये देखिए कि आपकी टीम में उसमें क्या खूबी है, और जहां कमी है वहां उसको सपोर्ट कीजिए। That is the key to the success. That is the key to the success. क्लास में आप पढ़ रहे हैं, कोई चीज आपको समझ आती है, कोई आपका फ्रेंड पूछता है, आप उसको जवाब दीजिए, आप उसको हेल्प कीजिए कि दैट पर्सन ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड दैट। जितना आप वो कीजिएगा, मोर एंड मोर यू डू, मोर एंड मोर स्मार्टर यू विल बिकम। जितना नॉलेज शेयर करेंगे, उतना ही आप नॉलेजेबल होंगे। और फिर कॉलेज की लैब्स, वहां पर टूल्स हैं, टेस्ट इक्विपमेंट है। जब भी समय मिले, डू नॉट हेजिटेट, जस्ट जाके अपने चाहे इलेक्ट्रिकल लैब, मैकेनिकल लैब, कंप्यूटर लैब, जो भी लैब है, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग लैब, वट एवर दैट लैब इज देयर, go and work in that lab. May work with your hands so that you understand how does it work, how the things work. This course prepares the student with customer focus skill to identify what problem customer has and offer solution. कोई भी चीज हम लोग जो बनाते हैं, कोई भी चीज, वो हम लोग कस्टमर के लिए बनाते हैं ना, because customer will give you money, right? Reward you for the thing which you've done. अब मेरा काम क्या है? You are my customer. All the students, you are our customer. You are Anil Kant's and Professor Suresh Roy and my customer. और मेरा ये कर्म है कि मैं आपको वो चीज दूं, आपको ऐसा कर, जो भी जिस कारण से आप इस क्लास में आए हैं, आपको जो भी सोच रहे हैं आपको मिलना चाहिए, आपको मिल जाए। अगर मैं ऐसा नहीं करता हूं, इसमें असफल होता हूं, तो इसका मतलब मैं इसमें असफल हुआ हूं। सो कस्टमर जो है, दैट इज द सेंटर पॉइंट हर चीज में। आप मेरे कस्टमर हैं, एंड आई वांट टू मेक श्योर हम लोग तीनों मिलके आपको, वी विल मेक श्योर दैट वी फुलफिल योर रिक्वायरमेंट, वी फुलफिल योर जो वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन, जिससे कि आप जो भी, we'll talk about this value proposition a little later. It is part of the BMC business model canvas. So कि कस्टमर के लिए वो क्या वैल्यू है, आपके लिए वो क्या वैल्यू है कि मैं जो पढ़ा रहा हूं, हम लोग तीनों जो पढ़ा रहे हैं आपको। ओके, सो डेवलप द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स and empathetic leadership skill. JUT, you are very lucky that you're getting your education in JUT, because two things JUT has done. Number one, JUT is the first university in entire India, and you can be proud of that as a student of Jharkhand University. This is the first university which implemented Entrepreneurship as a mandatory course. इंडिया में किसी भी कॉलेज ने नहीं किया था, ये किसी यूनिवर्सिटी ने नहीं किया था। JUT ने किया, फिर उसके बाद 6 महीने और 1 साल के बाद तब IIT बॉम्बे ने भी ऐसा ही किया। जस्ट इमेजिन। एंड देन नाउ जो फ्लिप क्लासरूम कॉन्सेप्ट जो है, JUT is working to make sure that फ्लिप क्लासरूम का कॉन्सेप्ट हम करें, और आप लोग सब इसमें सीख सके. So I'm very pleased to see what your university is looking forward and making the things brighter. So this course, this class, this series, this semester is dedicated to Mr. Vinod Rao. Mr. Vinod Rao, very intelligent, very creative. He had all those three things: critical thinking, empathetic leadership, and also the good storyteller. That he worked for SpaceX. He worked for Tesla. He was invited, actually. He was sought after, and he, to his credit, he has 6 U.S. patent in his name. Vinod is dedicated to Vinod Rao, Mr. Vinod Rao, and Vinod, we are going to miss you so much. We are going to miss you. In this class, we will also have later on Professor Raj Jaswa, who is an entrepreneur, and he is a professor at IIT Bombay, IIT Gandhinagar, and also BIT Sindri. Professor Prakash Kumar, head of the Department of Production and Industrial Engineering at BIT Sindri. He is the heartbeat of this program. From the day one, 2017, when we started this concept, he's there from the day one. Very thankful to Professor Suresh Roy. He's part of it for last like 6 years, and he is, as I mentioned earlier, he's also he's a serial entrepreneur with expertise in new product introduction and manufacturing, and he has extensive experience at Cisco and Quantum and many other where he had the leadership position. We'll also have, we'll invite guest speakers and guest entrepreneur speaker who will be coming and sharing their story with you. कि क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ, how they became successful, और कहाँ failure हुआ तो क्यों हुआ. And then, so we are very thankful to Ria Arora of Babson College, Boston, and Rena Arora of Harker School for all the visuals in this presentation. Now, I would like Professor Roy to take it from here. Because of his manufacturing experience and all that, in this world today, it is the world of convergence. So I want you to write that word convergence. और जाके जब जाओगे शाम को जाके go and do the Google on convergence या ChatGPT से पूछो. Convergence. Just as an example, look at the drone. उसमें कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी आई कन्वर्ज की. Oh, there was a mechanical, there was electrical, there's air dynamics. Lot of those things came together. All the technologies converged.
Recording in progress.
What are the various roles which engineer takes on in making a successful organization? एक सफल संगठन को बनाने में इंजीनियर कौन सी विभिन्न भूमिकाएं निभाता है? That's what Professor Suresh Roy is mentioning. Okay, go ahead, Professor Roy.
Okay, thank you very much. Just like me, of course, I have a vast experience. However, that does not matter because once you become an engineer, you are also going to gain experience with time. But what this course will teach you, and I can assure you that it will prepare you for the most critical stage at your life, that is at your first interview. Because at the interview, you will have just 5 minutes for you to present yourself. And the canvas that you have, or a selling tool that you have, is your resume. Make sure that you prepare your resume as good as what is going to be taught in this class. And I also want to add one more thing, and think about it. Knowledge sharing. And the best form of knowledge sharing is teaching your colleagues or your juniors. When you start teaching, there'll be a lot of questions that will be asked to you. And once you're able to respond to those questions, you're going to become even more sharper in answering those questions. And that is where you need to share your knowledge. Share it and teach this to your to second year or third year students, that this is what I've learned and this is a very important part in your life. There are many things that you really need to do, hard skills and soft skills. You'll be surprised that although you might be performing all of that, but you really need to focus on what these skills are. Because once you understand these skills, you're going to display them both either through your communication or through your actions. What are these core skills that will help you? Communication. I'm just going to name, this itself is going to be a complete seminar of 1 hour. And I hope some professor in your institute is going to talk about it, the soft skill that you need to develop. Communication, making very sure that you are able to explain your ideas in a very clear thoughts and make it as interesting as possible, expressing from start to the end. And that storytelling, the word that storytelling, you must be able to tell a story so interesting that all your viewers or your listeners will be listening to it very carefully. Another thing very important is teamwork and collaboration. You need to develop that teamwork. When you work as a team, you are going to make sure that you help each other out. Remember, a success of a team depends upon the weakest link. And you want to make sure that none of your link is weak. Make it stronger. That's what is teamwork. Adaptability. How you are able to adapt yourself to different circumstances that you'll be facing. The better you are able to adapt yourself, the chances of your success once you join the job is going to be very high. Critical thinking, and now again, that is mentioned so many times. You have to think critically. Out of the box is now the old thing, but basically that's what it is. Try to think differently. Try to see the problem at the source. That is where your critical thinking will come in. And once you see that problem, again, another point of a soft skill is problem solving. How are you able to solve the problem? Now, if you take this in your general life, all of this is so important. When you want to communicate to your brothers, sisters, or even your parents, you need to make sure that you're able to communicate properly. You're able to solve some of the problems that come in your life, as well as the problem that you will see coming to you and how you can find out those issues and how you can resolve it. Time management. Again, emotional intelligence, your leadership, and your work ethics. Now, these are some of the soft skills that are really required. And I talked about effective communication. Most of the time, you will get an opportunity to speak, and the time is limited. And within that specific time, you have to make sure you are able to communicate your ideas to the other party, to the third party. I can just take an example of, I was just watching a program. This is known as the Startup Bell. I think that's what it says. No, let me rethink. Yeah, Idea Buzz. It was on ZTV. And I encourage you to watch that, because in that program, you will see a lot of new ideas being discussed. And the presenter, rather, if you are one, you'll be just given 2 minutes in order to express what your product is all about, how interesting your story is, so that the financiers sitting in front of you will be able to visualize and say, yes, this is the part of the story that I want to hear. This is the part where I want to play a role. This is where I would finance this company. Again, all this goes through effective communication. And of course, I talked about adaptability to changes and leadership management. You know, I want to give one personal story that you should listen very carefully. While I was working at Cisco, my manager, my director, he came to me and said, Suresh, I was supposed to go to this university for an interview, but somehow I have some other important assignment. Can you take over? Can you go to that company, go to that institute and do campus interview? And he gave me 400 resume and said, go through this. And out of this, select 20 or 30 and ask them to come for interview. Friends, this is a real story. I just have 1 hour to go through 400 resume and see to it that I select potentially the best candidate, because they would be joining my department. And if you do not write your resume correctly, however smart you are, you're going to miss that opportunity. So again, this is just like business canvas that we're talking about. You must write down all your skill. You must write down your potential. You must write down your past experience, how successful you are. How did you lead your team successfully towards a problem resolving, go to the root cause action, and able to solve it. I can assure every one of you, when you go for your first interview, if you keep in mind what you're learning in this class, that will go a long way. This course will teach you right from the first day at the job for the rest of your life, because these are the terms and technology that you'll be using in future. Whatever you're learning in the class today is very valuable till your first interview. After that interview, the company is going to mold you in a different way to suit whatever the roles and responsibility that they will give you. The chance of your joining and supporting an industry is 99%. Only a few of you will go towards design, in which you will become employer. You'll be able to come with a product which will be relatable, which will be scalable and profitable. While I'll go through all of this when I take up new product introduction and tell you exactly where all this really matters and how you're able to solve those, you'll have a better understanding. If you listen to this very carefully and you're able to express yourself during an interview, the chances are the company will think that this particular student is going to be an asset to my company. And whenever you become an asset, remember the compensation that you're going to get, the financing that you're going to get. For a company, you require financing. For your personal, this is your compensation in the form of pay scale is going to be much, much higher than if you do not talk in technical terms. We will teach you all of that. We will guide you through the process. And this is going to be there for the rest of your life. If you're an engineer, friends, you will remember my words once you join the industry. And I would seriously request our director Saab or Dean Saab, whoever is listening, that please bring those students who have graduated on the job, who are on the job for 1 or 2 years. And when they listen to what we are trying to tell, they'll be the ones who will say, I wish we had known all of this, because this is going to prepare you for the rest of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Roy. Thank you so much. So that was very important thing. We have a coach, Mr. Anil Khan Chaudhary. Professor Chaudhary, would you like to add something from your point of view, please?
Sure, sir. So first of all, thanks. I think nice to be here interacting and sharing my thought. I will just share 2 points. One is, like Ramesh sir, you mentioned, the important thing is to be curious, because when you're an entrepreneur, you are trying to solve a problem, and you can solve a problem only when you understand the problem, what is causing. Because many times we tend to solve a problem, but that is more of a symptom, right? For example, when somebody has a fever, now fever is a symptom. The underlying problem could be a viral thing, could be a bacteria, could be something else. So when we take a paracetamol, we are actually suppressing the temperature, which is not a problem, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, you should be curious. You should try to find the root cause of what you consider as a problem, right? Because then you will get to the root and you can start solving it. So that's number one. Second, I always mention that every entity has a potential and it has a performance. And when I say entity, that entity could be individual, it could be a company, it could be state, even a country for that matter. Every entity has a potential. So potential is internal, whereas performance is external. Everybody else sees the performance. So you as an individual or you as an entrepreneur have a potential which you know best. But when you perform, when you provide an outcome, when you do a delivery, execution, people receive that and people appreciate it, and that becomes your performance, right? Based on which it is measured. And there's always a gap between potential and performance, right? And there could be many factors, internal interferences, how you decide, how you prioritize, how you choose from different things, and external constraints, the environment, the regulations, so many things around that. So as an entrepreneur, you should always try to reduce that gap between potential and performance. So I would just say these 2 things. I think looking at what you have in store, there are many things to be covered, but I would say always be curious and always look at how you can reduce the gap between potential and performance. I will leave at that, sir, for the moment.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My God, what a nugget you gave. एकदम हीरा आपने दिया है. Adaptable, this root cause, potential and performance. आपका potential क्या है और आपका performance क्या है? कितना बढ़िया चीज है. Very good. Okay, so coming back here, I want you to your attention here on the screen. जब आप डिग्री आपको मिल जाएगी, इंजीनियर बन जाइएगा, तो आपके पास नॉर्मली लोग तीन जगह तीन पॉसिबिलिटी है। या तो आप हायर एजुकेशन के लिए जाएंगे, यू विल गो फॉर द हायर एजुकेशन, राइट? और यू विल यू विल बिकम एन इंट्राप्रेन्योर। इंट्राप्रेन्योर का मतलब है कि आप किसी कंपनी में काम करेंगे, छोटी कंपनी या बड़ी कंपनी या ह्यूज कंपनी या फैमिली बिजनेस, उसमें आप काम करेंगे। यू आर गोइंग टू डू दैट। या फिर आप यू हैव इनफ of those experience and you say okay, I want to become an entrepreneur, मैं जॉब क्रिएटर बनना चाहता हूं, एंड यू जंप इनटू बिकमिंग एन एंटरप्रेन्योर। देखिए, एंटरप्रेन्योर अगर बनते हैं आप और आप सक्सेसफुली सब काम करते हैं, तो यू विल बी एम्प्लॉइंग मिनिमम मिनिमम 40 एम्प्लॉयज मिनिमम। और देखिए, हर एक एम्प्लॉय के घर में कम से कम 3 या 4 लोग रहते हैं, right? So you see how many people's life you are going to make a difference in. That's what this entrepreneurship is all about. So here, you go through higher education. After higher education, you can go to entrepreneur. That means आप चाहे मास्टर्स कीजिए या पीएचडी किए, और उसके बाद आपने यू गो एंड यू स्टार्टेड वर्किंग फॉर अ कंपनी। आप जाइए, आपने टाटा ज्वाइन किया, आपने सेल ज्वाइन किया, सिस्को ज्वाइन किया, या आपने जो भी और कोई बड़ी कंपनी ज्वाइन की या छोटी कंपनी ज्वाइन की, यू बिकम entrepreneur or intrapreneur. And what you're doing there is you are trying to, जो भी आप सीखेंगे इस कोर्स में और अपने कॉलेज में, आप you are trying to use that what you have learned from these knowledge which you got, and you will try to use, and you will try to rise higher and higher there. After you have worked for about say 5 or 10 years, then you realize, oh my God, why am I working for somebody? Why am I working for somebody? I can work for myself and do much better, much bigger things. Because यहाँ आप किसी लिए काम करते हैं, तो हर चीज के लिए आपको किसी की परमिशन चाहिए, आपके मैनेजर की परमिशन चाहिए, या उसके बड़े प्रेसिडेंट की परमिशन चाहिए। और अगर सो लॉट ऑफ अदर फैक्टर्स कम इन। लेकिन जब आप अपने आप स्टार्टअप करते हैं, तो यू कैन डू व्हाट यू वांट टू डू। So after 5 or 10 years of experience, you can, at that point, you can say, okay, now I'm ready to do. You can become an entrepreneur, or you may decide, I am good at entrepreneur, and then you rise up in the management ladder in that company. That's how, our Amrindu Prakash, he's the head of the chairman and the MD of SAIL. He took the intrapreneur path there. That's what he went. Okay. So you will become, ultimately, after even getting education, either you will become an entrepreneur or you become an intrapreneur. दोनों की जो स्किल सेट है, वो आपको, वो कॉमन है, वो आपको सीखनी पड़ेगी साथ। एंड ये जो है, ये उसी में स्किल सेट सिखाता है। So now here I want to share this chart with you, and thank you to Professor Suresh Roy for doing this chart. And the data actually came from Dr. Ghansham Roy of BIT Sindri. Now, this is in 23-24 एनुअल पैकेज जो ऑफर किए थे, उसका ये चार्ट है। द ब्लैक बेल कर्व, यू सी 2 बेल कर्व्स, ब्लैक बेल कर्व एंड रेड बेल कर्व। तो ब्लैक बेल कर्व जो है, वो एक्चुअल डेटा है। सो द मिनिमम जो पैकेज था, दैट वाज 5.5 lakhs. Minimum was 5.5 lakhs. Maximum was 50 lakhs. and average was 7.5 lakhs. So you think about कि एक बच्चे को 50 लाख मिले, एक बच्चे को 5.5 लाख मिले, क्या अंतर है? ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता है कि जिस बच्चे को 50 लाख मिले वो जिस बच्चे को 5.5 लाख मिले उससे 10 गुना ज्यादा होशियार है। ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता है। तो क्या कारण है? क्या कारण है? वही जो इट इज दी एक तो जो प्रोफेसर अनिल कांत ने कहा, पोटेंशियल एंड परफॉर्मेंस। पोटेंशियल आपका जो है और परफॉर्मेंस जो है उसका डेल्टा आपका बहुत ज्यादा है। तो जो आपका पोटेंशियल है आप उस पोटेंशियल को यूज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। सो why is this package difference? You can think about three things come to my mind. One is the critical thinking. सोचना, क्यों, कब, कैसे, क्या, all these things you kind of think about it. Curiosity, creativity, those things you have to kind of look at that. And then in a situation, if something changes, how you are going to react. So आप इंटरव्यू में जाते हैं and the interviewer asks, oh, you say I'm an electrical engineer. Okay, very good, very good. You're an electrical engineer. Okay, so you're making a prototype. और आपका टेक्नीशियन जो है जो सोल्डरिंग करता है वो टेक्नीशियन नहीं आया काम पर, आप क्या कीजिएगा? दैट्स अ चेंज, राइट? दैट्स अ चेंज। रेगुलर वो टेक्नीशियन रोज आता था, आप उसको बोलते काम कर दो, वो सोल्डर कर देता था फॉर यू। He did not come. What are you going to do at that point? That is the question which the interviewer will ask. आप उससे क्या जवाब देंगे? राइट? तो आप कॉलेज इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज से जा रहे हैं एंड एक्सपेक्ट, इट इज एक्सपेक्टेशन एंड कन्वर्जन्स का टाइम है। सो इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड कि आप अगर टेक्नीशियन नहीं आए तो सो व्हाट, यू विल डू द सॉल्डरिंग योरसेल्फ। यू अपना यू विल टेक द स्क्रू ड्राइवर एंड द नट एंड बोल्ट एंड यू विल टाइटन इट एंड व्हाट एवर नीड्स टू बी डन यू विल डू इट। You will not hesitate to do it. It doesn't matter whether you are an engineer. The job has to be done. So, एक तो so change, adaptability to the change that you must do. दूसरी बात, now critical thinking that we talked about, and I'll give you example also, or then be a good storyteller. ऐसे उसको कोई बात जब टीचर पूछे, जब इंटरव्यूअर पूछे तो आप उसको उतने 2 मिनट में कहिए, अपने इतनी बढ़िया से कहिए कि वो समझ जाए एकदम। बिकॉज दे नो, इंटरव्यूअर के बारे में उसको मालूम है कि आपने जो एजुकेशन की है वो तो आपको पता है, दैट यू नो दोज फॉर्मूलाज, यू नो दोज द बेसिक फंडामेंटल, यू नो दैट। तो फर्क जो है ना वो आता है क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग एंड देन गुड स्टोरी टेलिंग एंड एम्पैथेटिक लीडरशिप। एम्पैथेटिक लीडरशिप मतलब आपकी टीम में जो भी है आप उनकी स्ट्रेंथ के साथ काम कीजिए। प्रोफेसर सुरेश रॉय टॉक्ड अबाउट इट, प्रोफेसर अनिल कांत आल्सो सेड द सेम थिंग। सो the key goal for this class, what three of us want to do, what we want to do is we want to make this bell curve tighter. इस bell curve को tighter करना चाहते हैं, and also that we want to decrease the standard deviation भी कम कर देंगे और कर्व को राइट साइड में शिफ्ट करेंगे। Just imagine if you decrease the standard deviation and you shift the curve to the right, all of a sudden, your average will go high, right? That's what will happen. So our goal is that this team's goal is that you will be making more money जब आप जॉब के लिए जाएंगे, you will get more, your package will be higher if you follow these things, what we are going to talk about in this class. So this course is about finding out the unmet need around you and fill that need. ये ढूंढना, ये बहुत जरूरी है ढूंढना कि कौन सी ऐसी चीज है, कौन सा ऐसा काम है जो कि नहीं हो रहा है. Look around. Look around. Just just look around. Just in your in your college. Just today's example is such a good example कि बिजली की प्रॉब्लम के कारण हम लोग डिले हो गए क्लास में. Why that बिजली की प्रॉब्लम है? Think about that. And now think about कि आपके पेरेंट्स, what can you do आपकी माता जी, आपके पिताजी की जो लाइफ स्टाइल है वो अच्छी हो जाए. What can you do? आपके गांव वाले जो हैं, आपके फार्मर्स जो हैं, आपके नेबर्स जो हैं, उनकी लाइफ स्टाइल अच्छी हो जाए. What is stopping that? Find that need. And what I want you to do is you go ahead and find some of those unmet needs. जब आप जाएंगे घर में तो क्या आप कुछ ऐसी जरूरतें बता सकते हैं जो अभी तक पूरी नहीं हुई है? And I'm sure you can make a list out of it. So do that, come up with that list, because that will come useful in our next class. So this is one of the homework for you to identify कि ऐसी कौन सी need है which is an unmet need and अभी तक वो पूरी नहीं हुई है. And you will find lots and lots of those. Anyone can be an entrepreneur or intrapreneur. Anyone can be that. Successful. Entrepreneur, intrapreneur आप तो बनेंगे ही, लेकिन successful. And Professor Anil Kant, he talked about it. They say by cultivating creativity and curiosity, कोई भी व्यक्ति रचनात्मकता और जिज्ञासा विकसित करके he can be intrapreneur or entrepreneur, successful one. He can become if you have this creativity and curiosity, and you will become the head of the sale. You will become the head of ONGC. Nobody can stop you. Adapting to the technology changing rapidly, right? Changes. आजकल कितनी जल्दी technology change हो रही है. Whatever you thought yesterday, it is now obsolete today. Look at that. Every year, all these smartwatch companies or smart computer laptop or smartphone companies, every year they are coming with a new model. Right? So we have to adopt. इसका मतलब कोई भी नई चीज आती है, we should use that because it helps, it makes our lifestyle better. How can you adapt? How can you take that and tell your mother, tell your father, tell your dadima, dadaji, naniji and nanaji, oh, you should use this smartphone, or you should go to this this social media. You should go and look at the YouTube. So many things you can learn from there. You can watch all those old movies which you always talked about, Dadaji. You can go and watch that. So change, right? They have to change the behavior. IoT is that is the term which was coined by Apple. IoT, Internet of Things. हर चीज become as smart, right? There are sensors all around the world. There are 7.4 billion people on this earth, and at an average, there are 40 sensors per person. 40 sensors per person. Can you imagine how many sensors are there then? Can you imagine कि उसका जो हो रहा है तो उसका डेटा जो है, कितना डेटा is going through that internet or through the machines or through the network, how much data that is going. And then you look at the robotics, advanced automation, which is kind of happening now, biotech accelerating, drug discovery. And COVID was a prime example कि उसकी वैक्सीन 9 महीने के अंदर बन गई. पहले वैक्सीन बनने में कम से कम 10-12 साल लगते थे minimum. But this year, because they implemented what they did, they started thinking mindset of exponential, and mindset of the that exponential mindset kind of got that vaccine developed, and we were able to. That's why we are here. नहीं तो कितने लोग, how many people died in that during the COVID time? Then biotech accelerating, drug discovery, right? That's what it is. Personalized medication, bioprinting. तो क्या हो रहा है अभी, क्या हो रहा है कि जैसे you take example. Just I take my example. मेरे को when I have a headache, सर दर्द होता है, तो I have to take 2 Tylenol, 2 Tylenol लेने पड़ते हैं, तब जाके मेरा सर दर्द ठीक होता है. वहीं पर राधा है, she is okay, she gets only 1 Tylenol and she is better. मेरे को 2 Tylenol चाहिए, राधा को 1 Tylenol चाहिए. So लेकिन अब क्या है कि पर्सनलाइज मेडिकेशन में they develop the medication just for you. Just every patient will have a personalized medication, custom medication, which will be made right there at the pharmacy. And then connectivity. I talked about the sensors, like 7.4 billion people, and then each 40 sensor. Look at how many sensors are there. So we need the enhanced connectivity, and that's why we have this. Right now we have 5G, which is popular, but it's going to go to 6G very soon, and 7G and 8G and so on. And we are so proud. I want to say that we are so proud that BIT Sindri, which is a JUT institute, BIT Sindri के जो एक alumni है, Dr. Ramji Prasad, he is the one who has been the leader in the globe in this all these wireless communication. So whether it's a 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and 6G and beyond, he is he is a leader in that, and he has his books in at least 10 books in every library all across the globe. And then augmented or virtual reality. तो अभी हुआ है कि you can buy those glasses, अपना ग्लास को पहन लिया और उसमें बतला दिया कि I want to go and visit Kashmir. आप कश्मीर विजिट करेंगे, उसमें आप 360 डिग्री का वीडियो आप उसमें देख सकते हैं. 360 का, विदाउट गोइंग टू कश्मीर यू कैन सी एवरीथिंग. सो यू कैन डिटरमिन मेरे को कहाँ कौन सी चीज मेरे को अच्छी है, मैं देखना चाहता हूँ. दैट इज वेयर ऑगमेंटेड एंड वर्चुअल रियलिटी, और वही AR and VR. एंड देन ऑटोनोमस व्हीकल. अब ऑटोनोमस व्हीकल ये सेल्फ ड्रिवन कार है. प्रोफेसर सुरेश रॉय हैज a autonomous vehicle, and he just puts in the address and the car drives itself and takes it. Now let's for a moment talk about that autonomous vehicle. Look at convergence of the technology. Right? The convergence. They wanted to have Professor. I want to just stop here for a moment, because somebody is not being nice, and they have this. They're putting a square and all that. So can you please see who is doing that, and just or whoever is doing it, please stop that. You are disturbing the class. and that is not right. That's not right. So thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so autonomous vehicle, electrical electrical vehicle. अब electrical vehicle तो बहुत पहले बनी थी. Tesla made he actually wanted to do that electrical vehicle at that time, but he could not because of the other competition. He was not able to do it. So now the electrical vehicle is there. अब electrical vehicle है तो naturally उसके लिए वो बैटरी से चलती है, और बैटरी की जो कैपेसिटी है, पावर स्टोरेज पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम, वो जो कैपेसिटी है वो बढ़ती जा रही है, बिकॉज देयर इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट, कन्वर्जेंस ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी हो रहा है यहाँ पर. And then once that happens, then they say, oh, we need the charging and abundance. We look at the abundance. Abundance energy कहाँ से आएगी? So they look at सूर्य देवता की तरफ देखते हैं कि सूर्य देवता कितनी रोशनी देते हैं, कितनी एनर्जी देते रहते हैं. So somebody thought of say let us get that convert that sunlight to the electric. And somebody came up with those solar panel, and solar panel से बने तो फिर उसके बाद then the battery बने तो बैटरी की क्वालिटी फिर बढ़ने लगी, and so on and forth. तो एक टेक्नोलॉजी दूसरी टेक्नोलॉजी से कन्वर्ज होके that's what happens. It creates magic. So mindset of entrepreneur, एक तो abundance. कोई भी काम करें, so you think about abundance, प्रचुरता, बहुत ज्यादा. Right? जैसे सूर्य देवता की रोशनी वो प्रचुरता है, that's abundance. And then also like nitrogen, the air is abundance. Right? So whatever you need to work, if you want to go and from the air capture the nitrogen, right? You can capture that and you can start your own business. And then look at abundance. There is abundance. दिल्ली में कितने प्रदूषण कितना ज्यादा है दिल्ली में. The carbon is kind of everywhere, all around. You breathe carbon every day. But just imagine if you are able to capture that carbon. If you are able to capture that carbon, what a wonderful thing that would be. And the most expensive thing, like the diamond, the basic fundamental of diamond is carbon. And so think about this, actually. These are all the creativity and curiosity. And then exponential. काम जो कीजिए, पहले था हर काम सीरियल होता था. So आप अगर एक सीरियल स्टेप लेते हैं तो हर स्टेप में आप 1 मीटर चलते हैं. एक स्टेप लिए में 1 मीटर, फिर 2. अगर 30 स्टेप लेने के बाद आप 30 मीटर चल रहे हैं. वहीं अगर आप एक्सपोनेंशियल स्टेप लेते हैं कि पहला स्टेप 1 फुट 1 मीटर, दूसरा 2 मीटर, तीसरा 4 मीटर, चौथा 8 मीटर, पांचवा 16 मीटर, and so on and forth. By the time you take the 30 steps, you would have gone around the earth 26 times. And so these are all the mansikta. And then agile, you have to do it right away. ये नहीं कि देखा जाएगा, हम कोशिश करेंगे. We will try. नहीं, वो नहीं है. You are entrepreneur, intrapreneur, you are an engineer. कोई भी काम, you have to do it. फुर्तीला, go and get into it. And then customer in the center. हर चीज जो है आप कस्टमर के लिए कर रहे हैं. So make sure कि आप जो भी करें ग्राहक पर केंद्रित हो. Because only then, when you make it for customer, only then you will have opportunity to have a growth. That's what will happen. You will, people will buy it, and then your company, if you are working for some company, the company will do better and better. Or if you're an entrepreneur, your company will do better and better. So customer, hamisha, customer should be in the center. So here is the example of linear versus exponential. ये एक मीटर का एक स्टेप है. By the time you have gone through 30 steps, you have 30 meters. लेकिन एक्सपोनेंशियल स्टेप लेंगे तो पहला एक मीटर, 2 मीटर, 4 मीटर, चौथा स्टेप 8 मीटर एंड सो ऑन एंड फोर्थ. 30 एक्सपोनेंशियल स्टेप के बाद you would have gone around the earth 26 times. Just imagine. Power of exponential. So जब भी आप जिस कंपनी में ग्रोथ करना है, think about the exponential growth. Fast, agile, जल्दी से काम करना है. So leadership, you have to be a critical thinker. You have to be a critical thinker. आलोचनात्मक विचारक. क्यों ऐसा है? क्या करना चाहिए कि ये और बढ़िया हो? क्या करें हम कि हमारी फैक्ट्री का जो प्रोडक्शन है वो ज़्यादा हो? क्या करें कि हमारी जो क्वालिटी और बढ़िया हो? क्या करें कि रिजेक्ट रेट बहुत कम हो जाए? Right? Those are all the things which you have to worry about. And then next is the communication. संचार करने वाला. एकदम कैसे आप कम्युनिकेट करते हैं अपने विचार को? कैसे करते हैं? That is excellent storyteller. And then you have to be empathetic. सहानुभूतिपूर्ण. Make sure that you were strength of your team members. Strength of your team members. And then पारदर्शिता. एकदम टीम मेंबर में कोई भी अगर देख रहे हैं कि कोई गलती हो रही है, तो if I have done something, I'm a team member, I have done something and I didn't do it right. I did it right to the best of my knowledge, but it didn't come out right. Tell everybody it didn't come out right. It's okay to make a mistake. So these are the things which you have to get into your habit. So critical thinker, मैं बतलाऊं कि एग्जाम्पल एक देता हूं कि क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग. चांद पर जाने के लिए बहुत ज्यादा खर्च होता है. You need a big fuel, a big tank and big rocket and everything big you need. And when you say big, that means there's a lot of cost to it. So हमारे ISRO के scientists, they kind of thought about it. Critical thinking. ऐसा क्या करें कि उस स्पेसशिप का जो साइज है वो थोड़ा छोटा कर दे. छोटा कर देंगे इसका मतलब कि उसमें फ्यूल कम होगी, तो कैसे जाएंगे? So we have to get some energy from somewhere else ताकि उसकी स्पीड इतनी हो कि it escapes the Earth's gravitational force. So the scientists came up with an idea. My God, why don't we use Earth gravity? They thought about Newton. न्यूटन लेटा हुआ था पेड़ के नीचे, एप्पल ऊपर से नीचे गिरा उसके पास. आज सोचने लगा ये एप्पल ऊपर की तरफ क्यों नहीं जाता है, क्यों नीचे गिरता है? And then he came up with this thing. He said, oh my God, he discovered it is the gravitational force. And our ISRO scientists looked at gravitational force. तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि ग्रेविटी के लिए ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स यूज किया टू इंक्रीज द स्पीड ऑफ चंद्रयान. तो उसमें सबसे पहले फ्यूल डाल के द रॉकेट वेंट अप, चंद्रयान वेंट अप, एंड देन व्हेन इट स्टार्टेड कमिंग डाउन टू द अर्थ, it increased the speed because of the gravitational force. And then it went around, और उसमें थोड़ा सा फ्यूल लगा, थोड़ी सी एनर्जी लगाई, the speed increases again. And so it kept on round and round. Surely it took longer time. It took 28 days to go there and go near the moon, and then same thing happened. Then they used the moon's gravitational force on the other side too. So they did that. That was a critical thinking. That was so nice, and that's why the world is kind of talking about all the time. And now, बच्चा बच्चा भारत का बच्चा जानता है कि चंद्रयान जो गया था उसकी सक्सेस इसलिए कि पृथ्वी का ध्रुवीकरण, पृथ्वी का ये जो ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स जो है वो यूज किया था, उसी से वो बच्चे, कितना बढ़िया मैसेज था, कितना आसान मैसेज था कि ताकि हर बच्चे को भी समझ आ गया. और तीसरा, empathetic leadership. Oh my God, everybody was looking at they worked their best. They said, this is what we want to do. Right? And so they that's what they did. And it was very interesting that India came up with such a big success. So ये है critical thinking का एक example. Presentation skill ka example, and that is excellent storytelling and empathetic leadership. So another thing is think of a mind shift. जैसे पुराने ढर्रे के साथ नहीं चलेगा. माइंडसेट, हमारा माइंडसेट जो है वो पुराने वाला है, कल का है, जस्ट यस्टरडे, 5 दिन पुराना है या 1 साल पुराना है, वही उसी को हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं. बट अभी लॉट ऑफ न्यू थिंग्स हैव हैपेंड, राइट? दिस इज सो माइंड शिफ्ट यू हैव टू डू. माइंड शिफ्ट का मतलब हुआ कि यू हैव टू हैव अ न्यू हैबिट. हमारे दादाजी नाना जी को देखिए, नानी को देखिए, दादी को देखिए, वो बेचारे इवन ईमेल लेने में वो लोग घबराते हैं, इवन ये सोशल मीडिया में जाने में घबराते हैं. They don't utilize the full function of a smartphone, although they have a smartphone, because उनका mindset that is fixed. They have to do the mind shift, and that's what you as a entrepreneur or an entrepreneur have to think about. That कि जब नई चीजें आएंगी तो you have to mind shift. So think about this. जब जाओ in the evening, go back and think about what is the mindset and what is the difference between mindset and mind shift. So again, the mindset of entrepreneur: critical thinker, excellent storyteller, empathetic leader, and transparent communication. Excellent team builder, clear direction and responsibility and authority. एकदम साफ मैसेज देना चाहिए, साफ. And always be open to the new ideas. दूसरे का आइडिया सुनना जरूरी है. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि मेरा ही आइडिया सबसे अच्छा है. हालांकि हम इंजीनियर जो है ना, वी हैव दिस फैलेसी कि मैंने डिजाइन किया तो इसका मेरा डिजाइन सबसे अच्छा है. But that is a fallacy, because there are out there other people who have done it much better. So ये सोचना बहुत जरूरी है कि always open to new ideas and discussion, and focus on testing the hypothesis. तो हर चीज आप जो करते हैं, that you are looking at the hypothesis कि ये ऐसे होगा, अगर मैं इसको ऐसे करूंगा तो result will be probably this. It's not proven yet, but that is your hypothesis. So each time you do, you must test your hypothesis in each of the 9 blocks of the BMC, which you will see that. And then, of course, go and explore the future technology: artificial intelligence, aerospace, blockchain, cryptocurrency, cyber security, robotics and drone, semiconductor and chip design. ये सब जो नए जो आ रहे हैं, you have to kind of keep up to date on that क्योंकि everything is converging. और इस class में actually we will have an expert on the blockchain we will bring in, and we'll also have an expert in the drone, robotics and drone, and semiconductor. So you will get to hear in this class from these leaders of the industry. And we already talked about this. Professor Suresh Roy talked about this. Okay, now this here, there are a lot of videos here in your book, which you are in your presentation, which you have received already. These are the very short videos. 2 minute, 2.5 minute के वीडियो हैं, and they talk about critical thinking. तो आप जरूर इनको देखिए जब भी मौका मिले. एक ये 2 मिनट की वीडियो बहुत आसानी से एकदम, एंड वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. एंड ये सब है ऑन द चैट जीपीटी AI. So it is all that machine learning and chat GPT. Inside chat GPT architecture intelligence, advanced insights, right? All these are understanding it. So if you look at that, अगर आप because nowadays artificial intelligence is what is there, and it is not a rocket science. It's not a rocket science. So you can really go through this and learn quite a bit. And then also there are other videos like how AI is in medicine, how AI is in the medical imaging, or in drug discovery, in public health, and all of that. So it has a short video, and your mind will open up. Oh my God, what are the opportunities? What the world is doing? And on your smartphone, I would like you to do Bhatia Breaking Barriers app. वो रखना है. तो ये है, download that app, go to Showreel B3, learn and grow. Okay, go that, or you can go to web.showreelapp.com. So you can get that app from there. And we want to thank Sabir Bhatia. Sabir Bhatia is actually he's working. He's part of this program and also JUT. So he's helping us out. And you may. I told Sabir that if he could come to one of the classes, so he will come and he'll give a talk in our class one of these days in this semester. Then entrepreneurship के 14 मैनिफेस्टो हैं, राइट? कोई भी चीज ढूंढने के लिए 14. एक जैसे एज फॉर एग्जांपल रूल नंबर 1, देयर आर नो फैक्ट्स इनसाइड योर बिल्डिंग. अब आप कोई बिजनेस शुरू करना चाहते हैं तो सबसे पहले आप ये जानेंगे कि उसकी जरूरत किसको है, कौन सी चीज पर आप बिजनेस करेंगे. सो you cannot do that, you cannot find that just by sitting on your chair in your hostel or library. You will not get any answer. You think you are getting answer, but really you're not getting the real answer. Real answer you will get कि आप जब बाहर जाएंगे और किसी से रियल कस्टमर से पूछेंगे कि आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम है, what are the challenges you are having, then you will learn it. So anyway, there are 14 of those, and we will talk more in our next class, which is what is entrepreneurship. In that class, we'll go over that. So अगली class जो है, that is what is startup. ये startup क्या है? What is that? That we'll talk in the next class. And I want all of you, remember, I want all of you to have your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn में जाके अपनी प्रोफाइल बनाइए. दैट इज अ मस्ट, क्योंकि कोई भी जॉब जहां पर जाते हैं, कोई भी सबसे पहले वो आपके बारे में जानता है, तभी दे लुक एट द LinkedIn. If they don't find you in the LinkedIn, employer don't find you on the LinkedIn, they won't even talk to you. Right? So that's what you have to do, LinkedIn profile. Okay, so we are done with this lecture, but at this point, I would like, before I call Professor Suresh Roy, I'd like to call on Professor Anil Kant, if he wants to do some, before we open up for the question answer, if he wants to comment and say something. Professor Anil Kant?
Yes, sir. No, I think it's good. I think this is the first one. So we're looking forward to more interactions, more questions, more ideas coming in. And as you rightly said, the real thing would be once people start asking questions, go through those
Yeah.
videos, go through those details, and come up with your queries, because that will show how eager you are, how curious you are about it. And that will set the foundation for a great entrepreneurial thought process going ahead. So, looking forward to future sessions. So,
Thank you. Professor Roy, Suresh Roy,
Yeah,
you can
you
start
know,
the QA part because that you do so well.
okay. Before that, I wish you would give us an opportunity after one or two slides, because there are many thoughts that come into my mind. And by the time you end, those thoughts are gone. So
Very
from
well.
next time,
Okay.
if you really, put a stop and say, any comments, then we can add comments which will be more appropriate at that particular time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the purpose. So that's why if the students, if they all students, I think we will only learn when we ask the question. So in the next class, which will be, I will you would have gone through this what is entrepreneurship, and we'll start with the class. Will start with the question. What question you have? Is that so, Professor Roy? Would that be okay with you?
No, you skipped my point. My point was give an expert an opportunity to explain it in little more details after you've gone through two slides, because what comes in my mind, I want to express myself. For example, you took an example of exponential growth. Yeah, that sounds good, perfect. But in real life, without our knowing, we have many examples in which exponential growth really happened in life.
Yep.
The electrical students or computer science students will know when the first PC was introduced, the processor that was used was 8088.
Mhm.
8088 used 8 bits of processing at a time.
Yeah.
After 88, it became 286, then 386, 486, Pentium, and multiple versions of Pentium. And guess what? The processing went from 8-bit processing, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. That is the growth that we are seeing.
Yeah.
And that is the growth that we are experiencing without even knowing what has taken place
Yeah.
during this time. So that is a perfect example of exponential growth that has happened in the industry.
Thank you.
I would also like to explain one thing here. My niece, my sister ki beti, who's a doctor, and she asked me, "Uncle, aap karte kya? What do the engineers do?" A doctor asking that question, it must be answered in a way that she understands. Muna, I'm manufacturing engineer, and जैसे patients आपके पास आते हैं, the patients tell you, मेरे को ये बुखार है, मेरे को यहाँ पे दर्द है, मेरे को ये problem है, and then you suggest them different type of medicines or more testing to be done on that. मैं बोला कि हम लोग के पास भी जो मशीन है बोलती नहीं है, but we as an engineers have to understand the product that they are making, because we keep on data on their productivity. जहां पर वो failures देने लगे, that is a time our machine is sick. और उसको बीमार होने से पहले we have to take corrective action to make sure that the machine is fine-tuned to make products which are within our specifications. Remember, आप ये जरूर पढ़ोगे during your course what is known as the upper limit and the lower limit of any tolerance. And we have to make sure that everything that a machine produces is within those tolerance limited. Ye hum log ki responsibility hai. Then she said, "Oh, uncle, ab meri samajh mein aaya. You are the doctor of machines." Main bola, perfect. And Mona, by the way, अगर आप CT scan use करते हो, ये किसने बनाया? Engineers ने बनाया. In collaboration with the doctors. Doctors ने अपनी requirement दी के but it's the engineers who came up with those machines, those X-ray machines, and all the test equipments which they use are all made by engineers. So friend, there's an opportunity for each one of you to show your skill and expertise when you go into the real life at the job. One thing is very important, we talked about, Murphy's Law. You must understand what the Murphy's Law is, because that's applicable to almost everyone. And along with the Murphy's Law को solve करने के लिए एक chapter होता है. When you go to the industry, there will be one thing, one of the responsibility is risk assessment. और risk assessment में हम लोग को we have to bring out all the possible failure, all the possible factors that will lead to the failure of a product. Usko failure होने understand what are the modes of failures and solve that during our design stages. All of that will be coming through in the next few chapters that will be there. And these are so interesting because this you'll be using the day one you join an industry, क्योंकि आपको industry में जब join करेंगे, your roles and responsibility perhaps will be to sustain a product, to improve a product through quality, reduce failures, write out documentation, root cause failure, customer service, or yes, sir, these are some of the roles and responsibility of manufacturing. Maybe, there are about 15 different roles will engineers play, and all of that will be covered. So, bhaiya, aap log isko theek se suniye, because this is going to be with you for the rest of your life. You're going to benefit from this.
Okay,
So,
very good. Thank you so
anyway,
much.
This is which I had to say. And again, we are open to the questions. If you have any question,
Yeah.
please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, please go ahead and put your question on the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and ask the question. Let me just do so that unmute all. Admin, can you please make sure that everybody can now have a control of their mics, so that if they want to talk, they can do it. Okay, go ahead, please. Whoever has a question.
Sir, what can be the important characteristics that can entrepreneurs have in his mindset?
आप हिंदी में बोल सकते हो. Go ahead, please. Please
Okay,
repeat your
sir.
question.
Yes, sir. I think the question was, what should be the priority for entrepreneurs? If I understood, there was a line breaking, but I think this is what I could gather.
Priority for entrepreneur.
Priorities.
The priority should be that you should be solving a real issue. You should be focused on what the real issues are. Remember Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, there are over, I would say, all Fortune 500 companies are there. And then there are hundreds and thousands of companies, small companies, who are working on a product that is going to solve or resolve a problem. So whatever you take up, you should be able to resolve an existing problem, which is a pain for someone. I can give you one example. कि हम लोग का दिल्ली का अगर contamination देखें, the level is so severe. And this has continued for, at least I know, for 10, 20 years, the same thing, the same excuse every time it comes up. आप लोग देखिए, in your campus, whenever a car goes on the road or a truck goes on the road, does it generate a cloud of dust behind it? अगर वो generate कर रहा है, what can you do to reduce that? It's a real problem. अगर आप इसका solution निकालेंगे, I would say you have hit a jackpot. What can you do to reduce contamination in your campus? First, think about your campus. If you succeed there, then remember there were three things: repeatability, scalability. So once you're able to repeat that, then you can scale it on a larger scale, because same thing you can apply for other institute or other cities. And I'm sure Jamshedpur will be very happy to accept your ideas. So again, key point here is make sure you're trying to resolve a current issue which is provided either by the customer or by an industry or by local authorities.
So one of the things you can do, you are so lucky that you live in the area which is surrounded by the industry. So go to the industry, go to the people who are there and tell them, आपको क्या problem हो रही है? And that's what Professor Roy said, that go and find out. Tata's ki kitni company hai? There are so many private companies, so many. So you can kind of you go there and you say, I am engineer from RVS college, or I'm from GGS, or your college, whatever that is. And when you go with that, that I'm from that college and I want to find out what problem you're having, so that we can address that and we can help you out in solving that problem. So go, and you have to go out, right? Remember the first one manifesto was, there's nothing which is by sitting on your chair in the library or in a hostel, you're not going to find a customer input. You have to go to the customer.
Exactly. And हम लोग convergent of technology की बात कर रहे थे. Earlier it used to be known as motor car because there used to be a motor. It used to be a delight for mechanical engineer because that car was purely mechanical. आज उसका नाम ही बदल गया. It is known as EV, electrical vehicle, a convergent of technology that took place from mechanical to electrical. And that is true, not only for electrical vehicles. Swiss watch, it was a pride, the most precision mechanical device that kept it very precise. And look here, it has been replaced by electronic watch. Not only that, think about your good old cameras. They were very precise mechanical devices. Remember, when the shutter speed, when you say my shutter speed is going to be 1/500th of a second, that was all the gears and everything that was used in that particular device. What has happened to the cameras? Forget about mechanical. Now it is purely an electrical device. So again, convergence of technology has taken place all around us, and we cannot survive without it. So think. There are so many things that will come to your mind. And if 5, 6 of you sit down as a group and say, okay, this is my issue, this is how we are going to solve that problem. This
Students.
entrepreneurship class will teach you the right way, the right process of how things will be done.
Okay, students, you need to ask some questions. This is what are the impact of technology on the entrepreneurship?
So Anil here, there were two questions.
Yes.
I think on the technology part, I saw Professor Suresh kind of touching on that, how the technology is evolving from mechanical to, what we see in cameras, we see in different precision equipments and all that, right? So in some way he has covered the question about what is the impact of technology on entrepreneur, right? There was also one more question. I think someone, Harshit, had asked that he's in touch with some organization who's in AR, VR in the US. He wants to know how he can be part of it once he completes his BTech, or maybe he could be part of it even now and then become part of it after he completes his. So that was another interesting question.
Okay, good. So you have to for the AR VR, you have to you have to know about it. You have to learn it, and you can go and learn. First of all, just learn about what is AR, what is VR, how does it work. वो सीखना जरूरी है. So that will be the first step you need to do. Or I tell you, India में बहुत सी AR VR company है, and they're doing quite because it's all about the software now. So you can, I will say, एक तो जाके learn or go to the Chat GPT and find out all the things about the AR VR. Get yourself educated with that. And then you apply with what your interest is. If that's what your interest is, then you can move on forward. So अच्छे लोगों को जो थी ना, critical thinker and good presentation skill and then this leader, empathetic leadership, ये तीनों चीजें ना आप वो पढ़ेंगे और ये तीनों चीजें होंगी, nobody can stop you. You will be the first person who will be hired no matter where you go. So you have to from now, you're graduating, Harshit, you will be graduating in 2027, right? So 2.5 years, and you have got time. If that's what your mission is, AR, VR, you have got time. Make study, do the project. जो project करो, AR, VR का project करो. That's a अपने startup में तुम करो, make a BMC का जब होगा, maybe you can do the AR, VR project. So that will give you opportunity to learn more about it. Okay.
So there are two other questions.
कोई भी entrepreneur होता है, you have to be an expert in that field. You have to learn, आप या तो experience से सीखते हो, or you go to the college जहाँ पर more advanced PhD कीजिए आप उस subject में, because then you'll be using all the equipments related to that. There'll be so many projects on which you'll be working. And hopefully, once you do that, you'll be picked up by many of these large corporations because they know the professors. And once the professor recommends you, you're going to have a pretty good time after that.
Okay. Excellent.
So, yeah.
There are a couple of other questions, sir, if I can
Sure.
just read out. Since I'm looking at the chat, I will help out.
Very good, yeah.
One is from Advik, who's asking, how do entrepreneurs balance risk-taking with risk management in the real-world situations? Right. Excellent question. Let me put the second one also, because that's somewhat kind of related. Mentioning, I think it's Satish who's asking, what is the role of storytelling in the fundraising, startup fundraising? And then there's one more question, which is, why do some innovative ideas fail in the market despite being helpful for common people? I think it's touching a lot of good aspect of
Yep.
entrepreneurship. So good to see these questions coming up.
Yeah. So, Anil, you want to take some of it, and then
Okay, so yeah, let me touch upon the risk one because I really like that a lot. Because many times we always feel that risk taking and risk management is same thing. I mean, a lot of time we feel. First of all, what is risk itself is an interesting thing. If there's the concern or if there's an issue, that may not be a risk. Risk is something which has not occurred. Risk is something which is a futuristic. If you have something in hand, that is an issue, that is a problem. If you foresee something going wrong, and when I say going wrong, it can have a negative impact, that is a risk. So risk is always a future. So when we talk about risk taking ability, it's the tolerance, like Professor Suresh said, we always have a lower limit and upper limit, right? So that is the tolerance band. Risk taking capability, if it is risk related to amount, risk related to your career, risk related to life, whatever it is, how much in that band you can play. That's a risk taking capability, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you have enough money, you can take more risk to try new things. If you have limited money, you can try only limited things, right? So that's a risk taking capability to my mind. That is how it will be. When it comes to risk management, this is where it comes to contingency and mitigation. That once you have identified a risk, how do you mitigate it from occurring? What step you take so that you can avoid that risk actually occurring, risk becoming an issue, risk becoming a problem. So when you do that, those mitigations, those contingency you plan, that's more of a risk management. Interesting question. I really liked it, Advik. Very nice.
So I will add a few more to that, actually. The risk. So if you are an entrepreneur, so when you go and fill up that BMC 9 blocks, there you are doing all the hypotheses, you are writing all the hypotheses. कि हम ऐसा करेंगे तो ये होगा उसका result. And you have to prove that hypothesis. So being knowledgeable about that, कि कोई ऐसा काम ना करें जो कि नेचर के अगेंस्ट में हो. Don't have to fight the science. अगर आप साइंस के साथ आप लड़ाई कर रहे हैं तब तो it won't win. However, entrepreneurship is risk taking. There is a risk because nobody else has done it. तो और जितनी बड़ी रिस्क है उतना बड़ा गेन होगा. लेकिन ये जानना जरूरी है. That is very important to know. So know yourself. Entrepreneurship mein, yeah, you are taking risks. Sure, yes, you're leaving your current job. You're now totally trying to develop a new product, and you're trying to prove all those hypotheses. Or hypotheses are prove karte hain, then obviously at the end, you'll be very successful. लेकिन रिस्क बिना रिस्क लिए तो कुछ होगा ही नहीं. अगर आप रिस्क नहीं लेंगे तो द लाइफ विल बी सो बोरिंग. आपका रिस्क नहीं लेंगे तो यू वोंट अचीव एनीथिंग फर्दर. गेम में भी देखिए लोग कितना रिस्क लेते हैं तभी तो वो लोग जीत पाते हैं. हाँ, रिस्क लेंगे कभी हार भी होगी, दैट्स ओके. अमेरिका में, यूएस में, सिलिकॉन वैली में आप जितना फेल करते हैं उतना आपका जो वैल्यू है वो बढ़ जाती है. आपने कंपनी स्टार्ट की और आपकी कंपनी बंद हो गई, राइट? बट आप दूसरी जगह जाएंगे, यू आर मोर वैल्यूएबल बिकॉज you have learned from your failure. So risk लेने से कभी घबराना नहीं चाहिए. Okay, so let me okay.
Can I add
Sure.
a few more words? My
Sure,
thought
sure,
about it.
sure.
आपने जो reply दिया is perfect for this situation. लेकिन मैं, because I was involved more in manufacturing of large corporation. In corporation में क्या होता है? The process is exactly the same. Here, the decision is made by a lot of people. Lot of people really ask questions. And जब आप उनकी spreadsheet देखोगे, every major item is subdivided into minor roles. And उसकी क्या responsibility when it is starting and when it is ending. And each one of them have to be carefully analyzed, weekly meeting or some meeting that, ये क्या हुआ? What are the road blockers that comes in? What was the risk that, आपके manpower near, you don't really have resources, or you don't have a test and measurement equipment to do that. These are the risks that are there. And you have to make sure that you understand exactly what the requirements are. You have to make sure that you have the right people doing the job, right and knowledgeable people doing the job. And आप पूरा डिटेल में, जितना आप डिटेल में जाओगे, you can pinpoint exactly where you're going to fail. आपने कॉलेज में आप पर्थ और ये सब जब आप डायग्राम जब फॉलो करोगे, उसमें एक क्रिटिकल पाथ होता है. Critical path is the one that is, if anything fails in that time, the whole project will be delayed. That critical path is the risk to the whole project. As a management, you have to make sure कि वो slip ना हो, that critical path कभी slip ना हो. That's what you have to monitor. Can I continue with the next question?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll do that. What is the role of storytelling in startup fundraising?
No, let's ask. Did it answer that question? जिसने पूछा है?
No, let me address that. Satish?
Sir, I have to drop out now.
Sure. Yeah, you told me that. That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have been very, very kind. Very good. Thank you. Very valuable input you gave. Okay. All right. Okay. So what is the role of storytelling in startup fundraiser? Satish, are you there? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So Satish, ये बतलाओ, what was the ये सवाल क्यों पूछा? What was your, why did you ask that question? क्या दिमाग में क्या आया जो कि which you...
Sir, like if someone start a startup, they will need funding for it. So what marketing strategy or other thing they should keep in mind when raising fund for the startups?
Okay. तो एक तो देखो, and ये जो कोर्स में ना, as you go on, जो next जो business model canvas जो करेंगे ना, lot of these questions will be answered. But let me tell you just जो हम लोग जो सबसे जो डरपोक चीज है ना, दुनिया में सबसे जो डरपोक चीज है वो है पैसा. पैसा जहां भी रिस्क देखता है वहां से दूर भाग जाता है. राइट. सो क्या होता है कि गुड स्टोरी टेलिंग मीन्स अगर आप इन्वेस्टर सामने बैठा हुआ है और आप अपनी कहानी बतलाते हैं, तो यू शुड बी एबल टू टेल विद इन 2 मिनट्स. 2 मिनट में आपको अपनी कहानी बतलानी है और कन्विंस करने का 2 ही मिनट टाइम है. तो वो क्या देख रहा है? वो ये नहीं देख रहा है कि आप क्या प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं. वो ये देख रहा है कि आप वो बात समझते हैं कि नहीं है जो आप कर रहे हैं. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट फुली और नॉट? राइट. सो दे डू नॉट, the investor, they just don't invest in the product, but they also invest in the team. कि जो टीम है वो समझती है कि नहीं है कि हम इन्वेस्ट करेंगे तो ये whether the team will utilize that funds in the right way or not. और investor ये भी जानता है कि if it is a new product which you are trying to do, new concept, chances are it will fail. Good chances are it will fail. But at that, if it fails, how you can pivot, how you can change so that you come up with another concept and change and keep on doing. Okay. Did you?
I will respond. You know, normally I will not recommend you to watch television, but there's something that we learn from. Your answer is watch Idea Bazaar by ZTV. वहां पर उनको सिर्फ 2 मिनट मिलते हैं. I do not know whether it's a drama or that's a real thing. I do not know. It could be drama, but you get 2 minutes to express your story.
Yep.
And आप देखिए, and how important it is to tell your story within few words and as short time as possible. आप उस प्रोग्राम को जरूर देखिएगा.
Okay. Good. Okay. So Satish, did you get some input into that? What you're going to do now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. The next is why do innovative ideas fail in the market despite being helpful for common people? Okay. तो कई चीजें उसके कारण हो सकते हैं. When you say innovative idea, what does that mean actually? Dusra, is it really innovative? Is it affordable by the from the price perspective? Is it affordable? It is innovative idea, but is it affordable? Can it be built? Can it be built with efficiency? Can it be repeatable, scalable, and profitable? So those are the things which kind of comes into picture. अब जैसे expand करने के लिए when suppose you have made your product and कुछ लोग उसको पसंद करते हैं और फिर market बढ़ाने के लिए you got to invest there. लेकिन अगर कोई खरीदने वाला नहीं होगा, so you know because the price is too high or some other problem. That's it. So why it fails is it fails because the customer needs जो है that has not been defined properly. जो unmet need है that has not been defined properly. Maybe it was not an unmet. Maybe that need is met by some other solution which are out there. Okay, so it's not necessarily, and then the other from technological issues also might be which innovative idea fails. It is possible to that. You know, you can see this NVIDIA. NVIDIA started the company. वो सिर्फ उसमें थे, graphics में थे सिर्फ. Graphics में करते रहे and graphics करते रहे. How fast to display the display on the screen, the image on the screen. That's what they were doing. And then all of a sudden AI came and they said, oh my God, they got the fastest GPU. And their GPU was then used by all the by all the AI companies. So innovative ideas, yeah, they do fail, but there has to be
let me answer that in a different way. Whatever you said really makes sense, but normally a product will fail because it did not meet the quality requirements, or it did not meet the requirement as far as the cost was concerned. Although both are equally important, or it is very much advanced technology and very difficult to use, or it is far ahead of the time. The real time has not come for that technology, or The worst thing is you really advertised as a very high value, but it really did not have a value in that product. So either one of them could be the cause. And remember one thing, out of 100 startup companies, only 1 or 2 will survive after 2 years. In spite of all the technology, in spite of we trying to resolve a problem, we are just not able to resolve the problem.
Good. Okay, so next is Akhilesh Anand from GGS. Very good question.
Are students still there? Because I think they're leaving for some other class, but whoever is there will answer all your questions.
Yeah, I'm getting such next one. Professor Roy, Akhilesh Anand. That's it. So Akhilesh, your question is very valid. Okay, you said being a student, assuming no capital, and having ideas to solve some problem. However, to test it and make it successful, working prototype, it may need financial and technical supports. In that case, are there any methods, ways, organization, or initial contact point for such student to support from initial product building for getting funded and scaling? Now, it's all about customer. What are you doing? Whatever you are building, who you are building it for? Have you got the first customer? So for you, first thing, it's a good question. And we really, to get to that point, to get the first customer, you don't need any money right now. What you do is you kind of think about, you talk to customer and find out what their problem is. Identify the problem. And then you go and re-verify with the customer that indeed, after defining the customer problem, you kind of work on it and go back and tell the customer, you told, yeah, I think what you told me, this is your problem. And when customer says, yes, that is my problem, then you go ahead and give a solution to that. And then customer says, okay, very good. Why don't you work on it? Once he says, why don't you work on it? At that point, you kind of go out to your friends and family and those people who you know. Talk to them and tell them this is the name of the customer. This is the product I'm doing. This is what customer's requirement was, problem is, and that problem, what problem you are solving, that is the customer problem I'm solving. Once you do that, then you do the next part. Ki, how big is that problem? How big is that market? कितनी बड़ी market है उसमें? So you have to do that. Number one, problem finding. Number two, how you're going to address that. So what is the solution? अभी तक आपने एक पैसा भी नहीं खर्च किया है. And then you look at, is there a market out there? So those things, if you do, you will get to it. You will not get any money. You will not get any money unless you do these fundamentals. So अगली जो 2 क्लास है, 3 क्लास जो है, that will actually go through exactly what you are saying, and we are going into very detail on that, and you will learn what is entrepreneurship and then building your business model canvas, getting ready for that. Okay. Would you, Professor?
Yeah, absolutely. Jo aapne hit kiya, I was waiting for that word which you did speak out, is family and friend. Remember, the first round of financing really comes from family and friend. They are the ones to convince. And if they are convinced, you'll have, second round of financing will come through financiers. But initially, and especially if you're unknown, you have to put money from your pocket first. You have to put money from your relatives and friends. And remember, if they're ready to put the money in your project is good enough. If they're not ready to put money, think again. And
Yeah.
as far as the technical is concerned, we are there to help you out. You know, whatever problem that comes along, whatever suggestion you need. And by the way, this course will exactly teach you the way to become successful.
Okay, so both Professor Roy, you said the right thing. Thank you for mentioning that. And then the next question is also part of this actually. How can entrepreneur build trust when they have limited experience and resources? Okay, बहुत बढ़िया है. तो ट्रस्ट आप कैसे बनाते हैं? Right now, you are in 3rd year. Okay. आप कोई भी काम करें उसको मन से काम करें. प्रोफेसर के लिए आप काम कर रहे हैं, मन से उसको काम करें एंड फुलफिल दैट. कोई भी लैब में काम कर रहे हैं, डू द लैब वर्क विद द फुल ऑनेस्टी. सो जो ट्रस्ट जो है वो धीरे धीरे बनता है. राइट, दैट्स ऑल. सो यू हैव टू, people will start trusting you once you are truthful, you are consistent, you are following those 3 principles of critical thinking and excellent presentation and empathetic leadership. That's how it will go. So in the later part of the section, we have a full presentation about the trust. That how how is same thing, like it's like a customer. How does the customer trust you? Right, that's your question. The bigger question that is, how does customer trust you as an entrepreneur? Right. So a lot of things you have to do, but with your behavior, with your pattern, with your knowledge, how you are handling it, how references, how people think about you. आपके प्रोफेसर आपको कैसा रिकमेंडेशन लेटर देंगे? आप जहां काम करते हैं, इंटर्नशिप करते हैं, आपने कितनी मेहनत की है इंटर्नशिप में जाते हैं. तो वन ऑफ द थिंग इज व्हेन यू टेक अ इंटर्नशिप, गो एंड वर्क एज इफ यू ओन दैट कंपनी. इतनी मेहनत कीजिए और सीखिए सब कुछ उसमें. That's how you build the trust. And I tell you, सबसे जो in my life, the maximum thing which have helped me out is my time in the labs at BIT Sindri. I worked and enjoyed that lab and did that. So sometimes I'll tell you also. So trust building जो अपने ऊपर आप पर है, just start doing it हर चीज में. अपने माँ पिताजी को भी हेल्प करते हैं, पूरे ट्रस्ट के साथ आप कीजिए. जो भी आपको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मिलती है, उस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को पूरे तरीके से कीजिए. Okay. And then the next is, how can entrepreneur build? Let's see. Okay. What if family is not supporting you?
Can I add a few more words there?
Sure.
You did speak the word, niche and expert. Absolutely, you need to be that. But at the same time, remember one thing: a project consists of team. You must develop a team which works as a team and are able to resolve the problem. Remember, you're not one person. An investor will see you as a team. One person they will never trust. What happens if you're sick? What happens, if you miss a bus? What happens if this happens? Working for a larger corporation, I can tell you one thing, that these large corporations think very big. They will never give a business to anyone that provides them 100% of the product. Because what happens if something happens to your company? What happens if there's a fire there? What happens if there's a flood there? this whole company, if it depends upon one person, is totally gone. So no large corporation will ever give more than 10% of their business to a new startup, or more than 30% even to the biggest corporation. So think that way. Think that way. This is the way that you have to really plan your projects.
Thank you.
And of course, no one financer will finance 100%. You'll see there'll be a group of financing that will come. There'll be few people try to finance. So it's all a group activities that takes place.
Thank you, Professor Roy. Okay, I really like Shreya from GGSES. Your question that what if family is not supporting you as a girl? Right? That's a very good question. So if you need to find out, there is lot of help. There's a lot of help for the female startup. Lot of help actually in the industry, and so you have to just create yourself why somebody should go and fund you. That's what you have to do. So what you need to do is you start looking into you start looking at that what you start looking into what are the problems, what unmet needs around you. You just find that out. Start looking at and what could you do. Just दिमाग में अपने कर रहे हैं, दिमाग में सोचे कि how can you what can you do to provide a solution for that unmet need. So
मैं तो ये बोलूंगा,
you have just
मैं तो ये बोलूंगा that number one, our institute should have a certain percentage of money set aside for these type of projects.
Yeah.
They are the ones who should really do the initial financing. Number two is keep in touch with your successful alumni, because they are the ones who will guide you. They are the ones most probably will trust and finance you. And so keep in touch with them. जो भी कॉलेज में आता है alumni, जो भी आता है, be in touch with them. उनकी गाइडेंस कीजिए, उनसे आप बातें कीजिए. The more you speak out and talk to them, more you will establish that link, and that is your responsibility to do it.
Very good. Yeah.
Girl or boy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this age and time.
Yeah. So do your homework. Do you identify the need, unmet need, and then you are going to win. I really like that question because you asked the question, and that is a very important one. Okay, I think we are kind of done with the questioning.
I'm not sure, they were supposed to be 57 still online.
Yeah.
Whether they are online or
okay.
So we will be
as a assistant, we'll be closing in about 13 minutes because it will be 11 o'clock in the night here. And but Professor Suresh Roy wants to stay, and he wants to really address. He's so dedicated. He really want to address some of the questions. So if you have any question, go in and put that. Ask any question, whatever. What do you think about this class? What do you think about this class? Can you write in the chat?
I think that should be a question for homework.
What is that by attending this class, you think it is that's what you thought you are going to learn, or there is something missing in this class? So I like that idea, Professor Roy said. So go ahead and just you can in the next class when we have, maybe you can answer those two. You write down and share in the first QA question answer. We can address that. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Praveen. Praveen said session was very helpful. Okay. All right. Good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. So we are going to. Okay, we are going to close now. You can stop the recording now. And we'll see you in the next. Thank you.
I think
So,
if any professor is online, they can give their comments about this,
yeah.
how they feel about this, and what needs to improve.
Yeah. And so what in the next class, what we'll do is we will do the please read and go through the next video. What is entrepreneurship? Then we'll have the QA session first, because I want to ask you that what do you think? What are your questions about it? Okay, first half an hour we'll set up just on the question answer. Okay, flip classroom we will do, right? That's it. So first we'll open up the class with the QA. Okay, so I will see all of you next Monday, same time. And thank you very much, all the professors and I really wanted. I hope that I'm able to see some of the nodal officer. I don't know how many of them joined here. I did not see that. So if you can, admin, if you can please identify who were the nodal officer who attended, and please let me know. That will be very, very helpful to me. Okay. Okay. Very and the faculty, faculty of RSV faculty who are in this. What is your input? What is your RVS faculty? What is your input in that? I would like to know that, and any idea to make this better. We want to implement that.
Thank you, Ramesh sir.
Thank you.
Suresh sir, Anil sir, you share your valuable time with us. Your vision and leadership have been instrumental in shaping the academic landscape of JUT Ranchi, and we are grateful for your continued support. From the behalf of RVS City, I thanks to all the speakers.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good night from here.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to close the session now. All right. Have a wonderful day. And thank you very much. I will